and thanks for being here. This is going to be a good show. I think that you could actually claim that myself and my guest and another guest later are part of those angry Americans that people are talking about, but we're not pissed off about medical care or the war or any of that stuff. We're talking about the family court system in New Mexico. That's the most toxic place that you could ever look and see what's happening in our state. If you want to know where there's a problem, take a look at the family courts. And tonight, we've got a special guest. We have a mother who will be talking about her treatment in the family courts and with some of the judges that we have here in New Mexico in the 2nd Judicial District. We'll also be showing a video from Richard Cornforth. Now, this is a man who has represented himself pro se, and believe it or not, this is so rare, who actually won as a pro se litigant, I believe in Kansas or Nebraska, but he is well known around the nation, and I think you'll really learn a lot if you listen to that video and watch it tonight. And then later on, we're going to be talking with one of the original pains in the old took us to the judges in our state, Bill O'Connell. And you'll see that the people that are on this program are highly educated, very intelligent people. Doesn't matter. They are mentally sound, mentally stable, and they're still getting the shaft in New Mexico. No matter where you look, you're going to see problems that are occurring in our court system. We really want you to think twice about representing yourself pro se, because I think that just by being pro se, you're not going to, really not going to win. You would be possibly victorious if the judges followed the statutes that our legislature put in place for everybody to follow so that we know the rules. And you would have a chance to be treated fairly and not like a criminal if the judges did not have absolute immunity, which we'll be talking about with Bill O'Connell tonight, and some other things. I don't know if you've ever heard of a report that was done in New Mexico. It was called the Polentis Report. It actually talked about problems that existed in the 2nd Judicial District. And believe it or not, we had a chief judge at the time by the name of Tony Scarborough, who I would classify, he may not have always done things properly and may have not always had rulings that you and I agreed with, but at least he had the cojones to actually see if there were problems in the 2nd Judicial District. All right, so I think we've got a pretty good show. So we'd like to welcome to you, Judge. We have a lady by the name of Brenda Brink.
That's correct.
Good evening, Brenda.
Good evening.
Oh man, wait till you hear your story. It's hard to believe. I wanted to start off by saying and admitting to everybody that yes, you're not going to like this, but I was heavily involved in a lot of fathers groups. But I changed my view over the years and found out that mothers who do not have finances or who do not have political connections in New Mexico, they are often treated just as shabbily or unfairly, or their rights are violated as fathers in our state.
Absolutely.
What happened to you? Let's go all the way back. You've got 2 children.
I do.
And you were divorced in 2001.
That's correct.
And what took place? I mean, you, like so many people, you probably went in under the impression that you were going to be treated fairly.
Oh, absolutely. I was the Girl Scout. I just believed that there is justice out there, and I knew that I knew what the truth was, and I believed that the truth would prevail. And it started with my ex taking me to court, and I think that goes back to his law firm really egging him on. And because I didn't know the rules as far as due process, I didn't know the burden of proof should have been on the person that accuses the other party of doing wrong. And so I would go into court, and this is before Judge Romero. There would be no proof, and it seemed like whatever my ex-husband's lawyer at the time with the same law firm, whatever he said, I would have to answer to. So even though they had no evidence of wrongdoing, all he would have to do was say something, and then we'd be forced to go through mediation. I have been made a flight risk. Things have been turned around, the truth twisted, and there has been no discerning, no wisdom, and no common sense.
Now, it's safe to be angry here, because what you and I both know is that if you show any little teeny bit of anger, even if they've got nothing, if their war chest is empty with no facts, no evidence, nothing to use against you, well, by God, if you raise your voice to anybody, that could be looked at as aggressive.
Absolutely.
Are you upset about what happened to you?
Oh, sure, and more upset because my kids have been victimized, and they have been victimized for 10 years.
And I don't, excuse me for saying this, you don't look like a kook. You don't look like you're crazy. You don't look like, I don't see anything wrong with you. I don't think there's any skeletons in your closet or anything like that. You're a mother who has only one thing that you want to do, is to spend quality time with your children.
That's correct.
And you want to do this, would it be fair to say, because it is in the best interest of those children?
Absolutely. It has nothing to do with vengeance, bitterness. I have moved on, but I have 2 children, one with special needs, and the other one, he has academic challenges. And along the way, everything that I've tried to do has been blocked.
One of the things that I think that happens in New Mexico, and I know a lot of fathers' rights activists are probably throwing their shoe at the television right now, is that generally it's the male that may have the job that pays more, and so they can afford pricier attorneys. But the female, unless they have some cozy relationship with the judge or with someone in the judicial system, I think that you're looking at an uphill battle. Did you find that to be true?
Oh, absolutely. Even though when I did have money, I have gone through 5 or 6 lawyers at this point.
How much money do you think you've spent? Now, let everybody listen to this. How much money do you think you've spent? I'll tell you how much I spent. And then all of you can look at the television and say, you are an idiot, Dale. But my ex-wife is probably doing that now. But how much have you spent?
Oh, I would say anywhere between $15,000, $17,000.
My bill is at $50,000. Okay, and I think Lee Cattell, who works with us a lot of times, his is at about $60,000. That is outrageous. What I want to know, though, and maybe you can address this, do you think that there is really an interest in settling the case once and for all? Now, to me, it seems as if there's a very simple solution here. Why don't both of you present something to the judge, and then the judge says, oh, okay, if we're far apart, then maybe I must make a decision. But if we're really close, where it's 50-50, then hey, let's go with that. What do you think as far as the ability of the courts to prolong the dispute? Do you think they really are adept at trying to get couples to co-parent? Or do you think that there are law firms like, the Barnett Law Firm, who have a vested interest in making sure that you continue to fight?
Absolutely.